But this is my team. I mean, this is my program, and I'm back to where it just feels right.
The softball diamond has long been a place that has brought Jeff Zanger joy. A passion reflected, yes, by his success in turning Payson Seymour into Western Illinois' most bankable winner over a 12-year span. See also the 238 victories and 5 regional titles the Lady Indians amassed on his watch between 1999 and 2010. But Zanger's commitment always went well beyond just the mere job description of coach, be it his force of nature efforts to build the Lady Indians the best possible diamond on which to play their games, or illustratively, his stubborn, almost maniacal refusal to ever let Mother Nature spoil a contest on that field with a rainout, doggedly arming himself with a shovel, a rake, and a year's supply of quick dry at the first sign of a sprinkle. And in that respect, Jeff Zanger has always been Lady Indian softball's most avid, enthusiastic booster. And as such, it's little surprise he answered the call when Payson Seymour needed him the most.
The bug came and caught me. We didn't have any applicants that really had put in for the position, and then it hit January, then it hit almost the 1st of February, and it was still open. And I just, it's kind of my baby. I couldn't let it just go without a coach. And some of the girls had requested, for me to come back, and I talked to my wife and my kids, and we decided we'd give it another shot.
The timing and this window of opportunity proved to be a blessing for the Payson Seymour community, but even more so for the coach himself. In the wake of the death of his 2-year-old son, Easton Zanger, this past December, who you may know better as Superman, the diamond, which has been so many other things to Jeff Zanger over the course of his career, became one more, a place of refuge.
Softball's an amazing thing, and I told the girls, when we met right away, I said, I'm a different coach than I was 5 years ago, because I used to think softball was life and death, and I found out that it's not. But yeah, catharsis would be a good way to put it. The 2 hours that I spend in practice right now is usually the best 2 hours of my day. I mean, I love the game. I can focus totally on the game and on a great group of kids, and that kind of takes me away from some of the other things that occupy my mind right now.
For a coach in want of a diversion and/or challenge, Payson softball is certainly interestingly positioned, with theoretically nowhere to go but down after a watershed 2012 campaign whose trophy-decorated ending Jeff Zanger got to see and enjoy from a somewhat unique vantage point in East Peoria last May.
It was an amazing thing to see the girls produce like they had, and in some ways I still considered them my girls. I considered that a good chunk of my team, and it was very gratifying to see how they performed on that level. And I'd been here 12 years prior to leaving, and talked a lot about getting Payson on the state stage, and they made it a couple years after I left. But it was still a great thing to see the Payson Indians out there playing at the state tournament.
Jeff Zanger is certainly no stranger to the burden of softball expectations, but this is also breaking new territory, especially for a program going from reliance on Western Illinois' most dominant hurler to suddenly finding nothing but question marks on the bump.
You don't replace Cheyenne Bowman. I mean, we don't have a pitcher that will match up to what she had, her physical skills and talent and work ethic. But what we do have is we have 5 different girls that are throwing now, and we're going to ask them to throw strikes. They're not going to get 15 strikeouts a game, but we're going to play defense behind them, and we're just going to ask them to keep us in the game, and then we're going to focus on our strengths. And I feel like hitting is going to be a strength for us this year, and defense is going to have to be, because we're going to have to play the ball this year. Yeah, I mean, this program now has won 3 regionals in a row. It's been to the state tournament. It then won was it a sectional championship the year previous to that. So I mean, there's some high expectations, and I told the girls when we started, I said, last year is over. There's nothing you did last year that's going to win you a game this year. But you know what? I said, this program hasn't had a losing season in 20 years or more, and I don't anticipate that happening this year. I expect us to take advantage of the strengths that we have and improve the weaknesses, and we're going to be okay.